If you are currently on your debt freedom journey, then this video is to encourage you because I understand how difficult a debt freedom journey can be. It can be very tedious and arduous, and you can take one step forward and two steps back, and you can start to question, like, why am I even doing this? Why am I sacrificing? Is this even worth it? So in today's video, I want to share with you the 5 choices that I have been able to make now that I'm debt free, because I believe that once you become debt free, you afford yourself choices, and these choices allow you to live a life that brings you joy. So let's get started. Choice number 1, I have been able to become a stay-at-home mom. So I knew that whenever I started having children, I wanted to be able to stay home, or at least have the choice to be able to stay home. So I knew that I needed to get out of debt, because when you have debt, that's more money that's going out every month, and that makes it more difficult to lose an income. So when my husband and I got married, we made a decision that once we started having children, that I would stay home. So what we started to do from the very beginning is to live on one income. And that allowed us to not even depend on my income at all, so that it would be an easier transition when we did have children. So now I am a full-time stay-at-home mom with my little girl, and it has just been wonderful to be able to make this choice and to be able to enjoy the early years of my daughter's life. But not only that, I have been able to give my body the rest that it needs after having a baby, because a lot of women don't have the choice to be able to stay home, and so they might have to go back to work 6 weeks postpartum or 12 weeks postpartum, and that is just, it's insanity. Your body has not recovered after having a whole baby and in 6 or 12 weeks. And so that is a really difficult decision for a woman to have to make, and not only just recovering, but leaving your new baby. So I knew that I wanted that choice. I wanted to have the freedom to stay home and to give my body the rest that it needs to, so that it can heal, and to enjoy the early years of my daughter's life. So being debt free has afforded us this choice. The second choice that I have been able to make is I am now able to be a good steward of my body and my possessions. So when I was deep in debt and I was living paycheck to paycheck, I wouldn't go to the doctor. I wouldn't go to the dentist. So if I injured myself, or if I, felt some pain or had a problem, I honestly would just hope that it would go away, because I didn't have the money to pay a doctor's bill. I didn't have the money to pay a dental bill. So I just kind of neglected my health in that way. But now that we are debt free, we are able to save every single month towards a medical fund, so that if something comes up, we already have the money set aside to pay the co-pays, to pay the deductible, and to pay, any of the dental fees or whatever else it might be. And that has just changed my perspective so much. And now I'm like, okay, let me go make an appointment for this issue or for that issue, or, for something going on with my daughter. Whereas my standard response used to always be, oh, let me just take some Tylenol, or let me just take a nap, it'll go away. Now I'm thinking proactively, like, is there a doctor that I can see about this? Or, if something's going on with my daughter, like, okay, is there a specialist that I can take her to? And the money aspect doesn't even enter my mind necessarily, because I know that we've set ourselves up so that we can afford to be good stewards of our bodies. And not only our bodies, but also of our possessions. So we are homeowners. We have a home, and we have been able to set aside money for a home maintenance and home repair fund every single month, because that money's not going out with debt payments. So we're able to keep that money every month and save it for upcoming maintenance and repairs on our home. So we just painted the exterior of our home, and If you know, you know, it's very expensive to paint your house, but we were able to do that because we set aside money for the past couple years preparing for this expense. And now our home, you know, has a fresh coat of paint on it, and that protects the wood, that protects the value of your home so it's not deteriorating. So being debt free has allowed us these choices and allowed us the peace of mind knowing that we can make good decisions for our body and for our possessions. The third choice that I have been able to make now that I'm debt free is I have the choice to rest. And so by that I mean I'm able to mentally and emotionally rest because I'm not worried about my money. I'm not worried about, okay, how am I going to pay this bill, or am I going to get paid soon enough so that I can handle this, or what if I need to get groceries, or oh, do I need to put this on a credit card? I was worried about so many things when I was deep in debt, and it was just always this anxiety. But now that we're debt free, we are able to save, and we have a 6-month emergency fund. Like, just that alone gives so much peace of mind when you know that if anything crazy happens, you have the money to address it, or say you lose your job, we have 6 months of living expenses set aside so that we can address the crisis, but in a peaceful way. It's not a crisis anymore. It's just, okay, this happened. How do we address it? We don't have to make rash decisions because we need money. You know what I mean? It allows you to calm your mind and think rationally when you have savings set aside. Also, another thing that I have been able to do is, because I'm able to rest, because my mind isn't stressed out so much and I'm out of survival mode, I'm now able to be creative. Like, I feel like when you become an adult and life just hits you hard, you lose that imaginative part of your brain that we used to have as children. And now that we are out of debt and we're not stressed about every penny, that imaginative part has reignited, I guess, in my brain. Now I have hobbies. Now I get ideas of fun things that, you know, I could try or do. And I'm so creative. I love to do things with my hands, and I'm relearning the things that I'm passionate about, things that I may have forgotten as a child. I'm learning them again as an adult. And I'm able to do that because I have the mental space to allow my mind to dream and to wonder. And it's a beautiful thing. The fourth choice that we have been able to make is we have started our financial freedom journey. So when I was in debt, the idea, I didn't even know the concept of financial freedom even existed. I never had this concept of you can actually invest your money so that you can retire someday and your investments will pay you income. That concept never even entered my mind. And so once I started my debt freedom journey, I started to learn about finances. I started to learn how money works, and I learned about the FIRE movement. And I couldn't believe that there was people that in their early 20s started investing large amounts of, you know, their income so that they could retire in their 30s or in their 40s or in their 50s. Like, that blew my mind. I'm like, what? You can retire at 30? You can retire at 40? That's incredible. And so starting my debt freedom journey, it opened my eyes to so many other possibilities and that you can, you know, afford when you aren't trapped in debt. Getting out of debt was the first step to me being able to then start investing for my future and preparing my future self to not have to work. Having this choice to, instead of putting my money into debt, paying banks back and paying all this interest, no, I want my money to go to building my future so that I can stop working when I'm 50 or 45 or whatever it might be and live the life that I want to live. So I feel like debt is a thief. We have to realize that debt is such a thief. It's stealing not only our money, but it's stealing our years. It's stealing our time. And the longer you are in debt, that's the more you have to work. That's the longer you you don't have choices. So this is huge for me. The fifth choice that we have been able to make is I have been able to invest in myself. So I was talking about investing in as far as the stock market with financial freedom, but this is a different type of investment. I believe the best investment is in yourself, whether it be to learn a new skill, get education, build yourself in some way. That returns dividends and dividends and dividends. So I have been able to make the choice to, because remember how I said I have hobbies now? I've been able to rediscover my passions now. I'm actually able to find courses or coaches that specialize in those areas and in those passions, and I'm able to take their courses. I'm able to hire them as my coach. I'm able to invest in myself and in my passions in that way. It's been really cool to be able to do this, and it's something that I just wouldn't have even thought about, investing in courses and coaches and just different ways to learn skills, because once you have a skill, if you want, you can monetize it. So I have been able to kind of open my mind up to entrepreneurship. I've been able to think about, okay, what are ways that I can monetize this skill and build a business, and that will also help propel us to financial freedom even more when you become what's called an independent income generator. So that's what I'm trying to be. I don't want to have to make income from a job. I want to make it independently, as an entrepreneur does. So that's kind of my goal. And so this choice, because we're debt free, we've been able to make this choice, and it is hopefully going to also allow us to reach financial freedom. So these are my 5 choices. I just wanted to make this video to encourage you, because I know the road is long. I know it is tedious, and I know that sometimes you just feel like giving up. But I wanted to share these choices with you so that you do not give up. It is worth it. And I want you to write out, what are some choices that you will make once you become debt free? I would love to hear them. And if you want to talk about your financial goals, or you want to talk about your debt freedom journey, or you need help to start your debt freedom journey, I do 1-hour financial clarity calls. I would love to hop on a call with you, and we just talk about whatever might be going on and make a plan for you. So the link is in the description box, and I'll pin it to a comment as well. But just reach out if you need any help in that area. But I hope this video was helpful for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.